Hello and welcome to Even It Makes. My name is Marina and this is everything that I made in 2023. So I will be starting by the item that I'm wearing. This is the Ruska t-shirt. This is a pattern by Lara and Sara Huhta from Named Clothing, and it's a simple for me white t-shirt. It has this line in the middle and it became my most wearable item for sure of this year. It is very comfortable. I think I made a nice choice in relation to the fabric, and I have been wearing this in many occasions, both like as an undershirt or as a simple white t-shirt, and I plan to make more of those this year. In relation to my ranking for making this item, it was a 4 out of 5. It is a jersey fabric, so me as a beginner sewist, it was a little more complicated to work with that, but at the same time it was feasible and it was a fun project to make. In relation to wearability, this, as I already talked, it is for sure a 5 out of 5. I wear this all the time. Every time it leaves the washing machine, I'm back to wearing that. An item, it is the first item that I knit this year, or that I finished knitting this year, and it is a Nordic summer top by Witre design. This is a summer top that I made on winter because I wanted to make a wearable item, but at the same time I wanted to go a little faster. It's also made with 2 strands of DK yarn, so it is a little more chunky. And in relation to this item, it was nice to make, but I don't wear that. And I think this comes from 2 things. One is because the line here, it is a little too big for my chest size, so I'm always afraid that it's going to fall. And even when I wear over a t-shirt, I feel like it doesn't give a nice cut. And another thing is the color. I don't like too much of wearing gray colors, so it doesn't fit that much the other clothes on my wardrobe or my taste itself, so I usually don't wear it. I think I will reuse the yarn. It is made with Linha Pura from Lana Grossa, so I think I will reuse this as a DK yarn and make a DK summer t-shirt for me. Oh, another accessory. The next item that I knit is this Balaclava by Well Love Knits. It's from a video tutorial. It is made with scrap yarn in chunky weight, and even though I think it is a nice final object, I don't wear that much. It is a little too chunky for me, and I just end up not wearing. I think I wore only once. So in relation to makeability, I would rank this also a 4 out of 5. It was fun to make, it was quick and easy. But in relation to wearability, it is a little too chunky, and even though sometimes here drops down the temperature a lot, I don't wear this a lot. So I would rank a 1 out of 5. The next item is also a summer top, also by Witre design. This is the Summer Breezy top, and is also made with 2 strands of a DK yarn. I use Linen by Sanjana's yarn on this lavender color, and this has become one of my most wearable items too. I like to wear this over a t-shirt like this or over a shirt, but also as a single item in summer. And this yarn is very comfortable, it's very nice in summer, like it's very breathable, and it also works as a second piece on the more cold days. So in relation to makeability, I would also rank this a 4 out of 5. It was fun to make, but at the same time it is a little too simple, and there were some parts because of the knitting in the round that got me a little bit bored, but it was a very nice project to make. And in relation to wearability, this is a 5 out of 5. My next item is one that is quite popular, which is the scarf number 1 by my favorite Things Knitwear. I changed a little the gauge. I made it with a fingering weight and a mohair yarn. And I really love the final result. It got a little bigger, but I really enjoyed the size. And the color is so nice and the feel is also very nice. I made with cold wool from Lana Grossa and the silk mohair also from Lana Grossa, both on this color. And in relation to makeability, I would have ranked this a 3 out of 5. There were some parts that I got confused. And in relation to wearability, this is a 4 out of 5. I wear many times in the winter days, but at the same time it's still a short scarf, so I don't wear this all the time. My next item are those mittens. This is the dual mittens by Lina Knits. It was a very fun project to make, and because of the different colors in the mittens, it kind of avoids the famous second sock syndrome that you get a little bored when you're doing the second item of the same. And I made with coal merino wig. I had this yarn on my stash and it fits the gauge of the pattern, so I decided to use that. And in relation to this, I wear this a lot. These are the mittens that I wear the most, but it shows some signal of wear. And it starts to show right on the first times that I use. So I wouldn't make this again, but I would have used a different type of yarn, a little more reliable or resilient to this cold weather. In relation to the pattern, I would have ranked as a makeability score 5 out of 5. It was very fun to make. It was very easy to follow, and I would have totally make this again. But in relation to wearability, I would have ranked a 4.5 out of 5, and this is due to my yarn choice that makes this show a lot of wear, and I don't think this will last many winters on my wardrobe due to that. My next item was my first sweater of the year, which is the Enkel sweater by Meiju Knits. It is made with Brigitte number 2 by Lana Grossa. This is a yarn that is very similar to Drops There, so it has this interior of cotton and this kind of mesh of wool and alpaca on the outside, so it gives a little of this fluffiness, a little similar to mohair. And I think it also has a very nice dimension in relation to the colors. It has kind of a black background and yellow and greenish outside. And I really love the sweater. I think the yarn is pretty good. It is very soft. It was very easy to work with it. And the pattern was also very nice to work because it is a circular yoke sweater, and it has this rounds of pearl, of the pearl stitch. So it got easy to make in a certain way. So it was a very nice project to work, and it is a very nice wearable item. I wear this a lot, like every 2 weeks now in winter, or every week sometimes. And I really love this. This was one of my favorite projects of this year. In relation to makeability, I will rank this. In relation to makeability, this is a 5 out of 5. Everything was super nice, the pattern was very easy to follow, and the final object is gorgeous. The yarn was very nice to work with, and in relation to wearability, this is also a 5 out of 5. I use this all the time. And for my next item, this is the Sophie scarves. I made 2 of them. I made one in the smaller size using Petit by Santiness Garn. I made one in the bigger size using Ecopono by Lana Grossa. And I can say that this is a very wearable item. It is also very nice to work for me. It is gather stitch pretty much, and with the I-cord edging, so it gives a nice finishing to the item. I use those a lot, not as a scarf, but as a headband. I don't like too much to use hats because they tend to be a little too tight because of my hair. So I prefer to use headbands in winter, and I use those shoes a lot for this intention. In relation to makeability, this is also a 4 out of 5. It is like a gather stitch with I-cord, so it's very easy to make, but it can be sometimes a little boring to work just with that. And in relation to wearability, for me, those two are 5 out of 5 for sure. My next item is a sewing item. This is the Nummi bag, also by Sara and Lara Huhta from Named Clothing. And it is a very nice tote bag, very big also. I made with some cotton fabric in both the outside and the interiors part. And it was my first sewing project. And it flowed quite well. The pattern was very well explained. And because it is a tote bag and it has this lining, it is a little more forgiving to mistakes than like a clothing item. I use this to shop generally, to put a lot of items inside, and I really enjoyed this project. In relation to makeability, I would have ranked this a 4 out of 5. Maybe if I would have made this again nowadays, I would have maybe ranked a 5 out of 5, but of course, as a beginner, it had some difficulties for me, and it had some things on the pattern that I had to look again. And in relation to wearability, this is also a 4 out of 5 for me. My next item is also a sewing item, are the Ray pants, also by Sara and Lara Huhta. And this was my first video here on the channel. It was one that I fixed some mistakes that I made on those pants. And I was hoping at the end of the video that I would have used those pants more, but I end up not using. The pattern is nice, and the final object is pretty nice too. Nothing in relation to that, but I made a wrong choice in relation to the fabric. I think I should make with a more thicker fabric. They suggested a viscose fabric, and the one that I bought is a little too thinner. So end up that this gets wrinkles all the time, and I don't feel that much like wearing because of that. It's very difficult to remove all the wrinkles with just ironing. So it always has this extra step to wear those. And also, I mean, because I didn't have the opportunity to wear this that much, I don't know how much I feel comfortable with the cuts on the legs. It's not that much of a type of clothing that I usually wear. So, yeah, wearability is quite low for this one. In relation to makeability, I would have ranked this a 3 out of 5. It was okay to make, but it also has some extra difficulties, and some of those I talk in my video about those pants. And in relation to wearability, this would be a 1 out of 5. I definitely didn't wear, and most of this comes from my choice in relation to the fabric. My next item, it is a wrap top. I made this adapting the top part of the Safiya Playsuit by Chile and the buttons. And in relation to this, I have some of the same difficulties than with the pants. That was that I made a wrong fabric choice. This is a little of a thicker cotton, a little like a quilting cotton. So it is not that much appropriate for clothing. It is too stiff. And at the same time, I also wanted to kind of use this for clothing. And I don't have that much experience with sewing. And at the same time, I felt that when I didn't have that much experience with knitting, I was making a lot of wrong yarn choice. Like I was getting the techniques and learning those, but the yarn choice was completely messed up. And I feel that's a moment that I was also with my sewing projects, and something that I hope to improve now on my second year of sewing. In relation to this top, it is, I don't wear that. It comes from two things. One is the fabric choice, and the other is that it got a little too short because it was a Playsuit and I only made the top part. Kind of like the waist is a little higher. So this got a little too short and I would only feel comfortable wearing this with a little high-waisted pants. So I don't use that. So I would have ranked makeability of 4 out of 5. The pattern is quite easy to follow, and it is like from her book of like things that are easy to make, like making one day. So it was very easy to do, no meanings, and everything was very well explained. But in relation to wearability, this is also like a 1 out of 5 or 0 out of 5. I only wore this once and never wore it again. The next item is this Fril Kami by Lara in Aston design. And in relation to that, I have some similar problems that I talk with another of my tops that I don't wear. I think the cut is a little too big for me. It did not have a gauge on the pattern, so I could not check if my gauge was okay or not, if I would need to use a different size of needle. And this ended up, I feel, affecting the final result. The pattern is nice pattern, and the photos of the final object are very pretty, but I don't wear this. This also got a little too short for me, so it has the same issue of the wrap top that I would always need to use with a high-waisted pants. So I end up that I don't use this. I made this with a sooty alpaca yarn from Lana Grossa in this yellow color, and I will for sure reuse this yarn to a different project. I'm still not sure in relation to what, if I'm going to use just the mohair alpaca yarn, or if I'm going to use with another type of yarn under it. But I end up not using this due to those similar issues. In relation to makeability, I rank this a 3 out of 5. I think it should have been provided a gauge on the pattern, and maybe this would have solved some of my issues. And in relation to wearability, this is also like a 0 out of 5. And I did not wear this, and I will remake this. This is mostly due to some personal feelings that I have in relation to this piece. Another item that I made is Audrey Headband by Joanna Hietala. I think I made this before the self scarf. It is a little bit similar, but the cut is a little different. I made with summer yarn, which was Katia cotton cashmere, and I used this also the same as the soft scarf. I use this over my ears to protect against the cold winds, but I don't use as much as the soft scarf, and I think this comes from this I-cord detailing that this one doesn't have, so it's a little more rough on the sides, and so I end up always navigating more to the soft scarf. In relation to makeability, it was super easy and quick to make, so I would give this a 4 or 5. The same issues apply to the soft scarf that sometimes can be boring to work on this. In relation to wearability, I will rank this a 3 out of 5. I use, but not as much as other similar items. And my next item are socks. This was my first finished pair of socks. I'm only showing one because I couldn't find the second one, but I had to, believe me. And this is the Giftative Socks by Kutovakika. It's from her book. And it has like, you use double yarn to make this, double fingering weight yarn. And on the top, you use of different colors, top and the toe, and also on the heel. So it has a very nice effect. I use Hietala bamboo wool as the main yarn, and this was so soft to work. It was so nice to work. I really love to work with this yarn. And for the contrasting colors, I use with one strand of mending yarn that I have. And this was a very nice project. It went very fast. Like, I never finished a sock before I tried. I never could have finished socks, and this was very fast. And because it is a ribbing sock, the fitting is quite nice and it's quite forgiving to some mistakes that might happen. I will rank in relation to makeability of 4 to 5, and this comes mainly for not having other size in the pattern. She only has one size, so this gives less room to like to fixing some things. It was the same size that I wear, but if you have a too smaller of a face or too big, this might be an issue. And but at the same time, the yarn was very nice. I made a very good choice of the yarn. And in relation to wearability, this is also a 4 to 5. And conscious that of how much I wear those. When I wear wool socks, I tend to navigate to this one and another sock that I have. But sometimes I don't wear socks at home. So that's why I would have ranked 4 or 5 in wearability. The next item that I made was this gather dress. This is a pattern by DIY Daisy. It is to make on your own, based on your own measurements. So you measure yourself and then you construct with the blocks a piece that will fit you. And it has some advantages and disadvantages of this type of pattern. Of course, you can work with some things that navigate between sizes that you can, it's usually more difficult to do with commercial patterns, to do those alterations. But at the same time, you need to work very accurate on your measurements to actually have a nice item. Sometimes it can go if you, especially if you get too tight, it can go, if you measure it too small, it can produce a very tight item. I like this one. I wear a lot, but at the same time I don't wear as I expected to wear because I made a wrong choice of the fabric. I bought this fabric online and I thought that would look a little more high quality, but it is also the same thing a little as the Safiya warp top. I think this fabric is not that much to make wearable items and more to make like house items. I still have a little left over and I don't plan to make any more of a wearable item. I will probably use maybe for a bag or for some accessory. And in relation to makeability, this would be like a 4 or 5. I think it would be nice to provide some examples of like measurements for different sizes, just so I can check if the mathematics is correct. And in relation to wearability, I will also rank this 4 or 5. It has some issues, especially in relation to my choice of fabric, but I still wear. My next project, it is a project bag. This is the intersection between sewing and knitting. If you like to do both, I would totally suggest you to do a project bag for your knitting. And I made this with a cotton fabric. It has this Otter print, which is very cute. And I made 3 out of those, one for me and 2 as a gift. The receivers really enjoyed that, so I'm very happy that I got the project correctly, and I use this a lot. It was a very nice project to work. It is a pattern by It's So Rachel, and it was super nice to work. It is a little like the other bag. It is a little forgiving to mistakes because it has the inside fabric too, and it produces a very, very nice object. You can make with many different fabrics, can do some quilting if you want. So it was a very nice project to work. I'm very happy with the final object. In relation to makeability, this is a 5 out of 5. It was very easy to make, very well explained. And wearability is also a 5 out of 5. I always have something inside, I always use that. My next item, it is, I would say, probably my favorite item. It is the Aros sweater by PetiteKnit. It is a little of an older pattern from her, and she works with a compound raglan. This is a type of construction that many of her items have. So it is a little straight in the beginning of the shoulders, and then it starts to increase. So while it's constructed a little like a raglan, it has a different set of increases, and it produces also a very nice final object. When he wears, the stripes kind of continues, and I really like this effect. It is working with 1 strand of finger weight yarn and 1 strand of mohair, and I decided to use Huhta as the fingering weight yarn because it was the one that I found on the colors that I had envisioned. I inspired by some Pinterest boards color palette that I wanted, and I found those in the Huhta. And for the mohair, I bought from different brands. The orange one is Zaga, and the lavender, the yellow, and the blue are from Ito Sensai, and this one is brushed alpaca silk from Camarose. So I really enjoy working with that, even though it was like in a smaller needle that I usually work. It was a 4mm. Many of my projects are 5 or higher. I still could do this relatively very fast, actually. And this also comes from the stripes, which it makes the project a little addictive to reach the next stripe. And I wear this a lot. I like a lot of the colors. Those I really love this item. I would totally make this pattern again, maybe with a different set of colors, or like longer stripes and a shorter one. I'm still thinking about, but it was a very nice project to work, and it produced a very, very nice final object. As can be expected in relation to makeability, this was a 5 out of 5, and in relation to wearability, also a 5 out of 5. And for my final object of the year, those are the Ovis socks by the PetiteKnit. I work those with long yarns, wool, and lana grossa silk hair. I did those like she does in the sample, with different colors each of the socks, and I use 1 ball of each color. There was this brownish color and this white color, and I used some rice yarn to the black of the shifts. Those are extremely cute, like extremely cute socks, and I really love working with those. So I would recommend this pattern to everyone. My husband already wants some for him, and I have the yarn to make another one this year. In relation to makeability, this was a 5 out of 5. It was a very nice project to work, very addicting, very easy to work on this color work. So if you never worked color work before, I would recommend this one. And in relation to wearability, this is also a 5 out of 5. I use a lot. I think it's extremely cute. And the pattern came with many different sizes, so I think it is easy to navigate and make a sock that actually fits you. So yes, this was everything that I made in 2023. It was a very nice year. I made many items. I was expecting maybe to make a lot more sweaters as I was coming to the year, but it was nice to navigate this. It was also a year that I learned how to sew, so it was very cool to learn a new skill that now I can make more items and I can have a more sustainable wardrobe. I have one extra hobby also to when the knitting can get a little painful on my hands. And I expect from 2024 to work in even more projects and nicer projects and also advance a little more of my skills. I hope to see you in the next one. I will show you a little of my plans and some projects that I'm working on this year. See you. Thank you very much for staying till here, and I see you in the next one. Bye!